You're holding what most people think is just a dollar coin. But this 1776 to 1976 Eisenhower with a Denver Dmintmark could secretly be worth hundreds or even thousands. Stay tuned, because we're about to expose every hidden detail, error, and collector's secret behind this iconic coin. 1776 to 1976 Eisenhower $1 coin, Dmintmark. The year was 1976. The United States was celebrating its bicentennial, 200 years of independence. Patriotism filled the air. Parades, fireworks, commemorative events, and special coinage marked the occasion. And among the most ambitious releases of the era was the bicentennial Eisenhower dollar. The Eisenhower dollar itself had only debuted a few years earlier, in 1971, created to honor President Dwight D. Eisenhower and commemorate the Apollo 11 moon landing. It was the first circulating dollar coin issued since the peace dollar ended in 1935. But by the mid-1970s, the mint wanted something extraordinary to mark America's 200th birthday. So instead of issuing a standard $1,975, every Eisenhower dollar struck in both 1975 and 1976 bore the dual date 1776 to 1976. That dual date instantly sets this coin apart. It is not simply a product of 1976. It symbolizes 2 centuries of American independence. And the Denver Mint, marked with a bold D beneath the profile of Eisenhower on the obverse, produced tens of millions of these coins for circulation. On the obverse, you see the familiar portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower, designed by Frank Gasparo. His strong profile faces left, calm yet commanding. The word liberty arches boldly above his head. In God We Trust is placed to the left of his neck. And below, instead of a single year, appears the dual date 1776 to 1976, a powerful nod to the nation's founding. But it's the reverse that truly defines the bicentennial issue. Gone is the Apollo 11 insignia used on regular Eisenhower dollars. In its place stands a dynamic colonial drummer boy, designed by Dennis R. Williams, whose design won a nationwide competition. The drummer is frozen in motion, drumsticks poised, as if calling a young nation to arms. A victory torch encircled by 13 stars rests beside him, representing the original colonies. United States of America and $1 frame the design, while E pluribus unum appears above the drummer. It is a design filled with movement and symbolism. It connects Revolutionary War imagery with modern America. And it remains one of the most visually distinctive reverses ever used on a circulating US dollar. Now here's where things get interesting. The Denver Mint struck over 82 million bicentennial Eisenhower dollars for circulation. At first glance, that mintage seems enormous. And it is. These coins were not rare at the time of issue. In fact, many Americans hoarded them as souvenirs, believing they would one day be valuable simply because of the dual date. But value in numismatics is not driven solely by mintage. It is driven by condition, preservation, striking quality, and collector demand. And when we focus specifically on a 1776 to 1976 Eisenhower dollar with the Dmintmark in fine condition, we enter a nuanced and fascinating segment of the market. Fine condition, often abbreviated as F12 or F15, indicates moderate wear. The high points of Eisenhower's hair and cheek show smoothing. The drummer boy's details are worn but still clear. Lettering remains bold and readable. The coin has circulated, but it retains solid integrity and definition. Because so many of these coins were stored rather than circulated, paradoxically, well-preserved circulated examples with honest wear and no damage have their own collector appeal. They represent coins that truly lived through the bicentennial era, passing from hand to hand during a patriotic celebration. Market value for a standard 1776, 1976 D Eisenhower dollar in fine condition typically ranges modestly above face value, often between $2 and $5 depending on eye appeal and luster retention. However, the story doesn't end there. Certain factors can elevate value dramatically. Strike quality is a major consideration. Many Denver minted Eisenhower dollars suffered from weak strikes, particularly in the drummer's hair and drum details. A sharply struck example, even in fine condition, can attract premium interest. Then there are mint errors. The Bicentennial series is known for a variety of fascinating mint errors that can transform an ordinary coin into a sought-after collectible. Off-center strikes, where the design is partially missing due to misalignment during striking, can command strong premiums depending on severity. Clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin's edge is missing due to improper metal blank cutting, are also highly collectible. Perhaps most intriguing are double die varieties. While major double dies are rare for this specific issue, minor doubling in the lettering or date can add value. Collectors carefully inspect the dual date 1776 to 1976 for signs of separation in the numerals. Die cracks and cuds are another area of interest. These occur when a die begins to fracture under pressure. Raised lines or blobs of metal appear on the coin's surface, often near the rim. Some dramatic cut errors on bicentennial dollars have sold for significantly more than standard examples. Another factor is toning. Although Eisenhower dollars are composed of copper-nickel clad, they can develop attractive rainbow or golden hues over time. Natural toning that enhances visual appeal can raise collector demand. Now let's talk about the broader historical context. The 1970s were a challenging time for the United States. The Vietnam War had recently ended. The Watergate scandal had shaken trust in government. Inflation was rising. Yet the bicentennial celebration served as a moment of unity and reflection. The issuance of commemorative coinage, including the quarter, half dollar, and dollar, became a tangible way for Americans to hold history in their hands. The Eisenhower dollar, already a tribute to a respected World War II general and president, became even more symbolic with the bicentennial reverse. It bridged generations, from Revolutionary War imagery to the modern space age legacy of Apollo 11. However, despite its symbolic power, the Eisenhower dollar struggled in circulation. Its large size and heavy weight made it unpopular for everyday transactions. Vending machines often rejected it. By 1979, it would be replaced by the smaller Susan B. Anthony dollar. That limited circulation lifespan gives the bicentennial Eisenhower dollar a distinct place in numismatic history. It represents the end of the large dollar coin era in the United States. Today, collector interest in Eisenhower dollars has grown steadily. For years, they were overlooked. But modern collectors are beginning to appreciate the series for its historical significance and design uniqueness. Registry set competition has increased demand for high-grade examples, and even circulated coins in fine condition serve as accessible entry points for new enthusiasts. In recent auctions, standard circulated 1776, 1976 D examples remain affordable. But exceptional specimens with strong strikes, attractive surfaces, or notable errors can reach into the hundreds of dollars. And in rare cases, certified high-grade examples have achieved prices in the thousands. Even though our focus here is on fine condition, understanding the full spectrum of value adds depth to the coin story. A collector holding a fine example may not possess a fortune, but they hold a piece of America's 200th birthday celebration. Another compelling element is the type distinction within bicentennial Eisenhower dollars. There are Type 1 and Type 2 varieties, differentiated by the lettering style on the reverse. Type 1 features thicker, more bold lettering. Type 2 displays thinner, more refined letters. While most dramatic distinctions are noted in uncirculated coins, even circulated examples can be identified and categorized, adding another layer of collector intrigue. The Denver Mint primarily produced Type 1 coins early in the production cycle. Identifying the type can slightly influence market perception and desirability. Storage and preservation also matter. Many circulated examples show contact marks, rim nicks, or dull surfaces. A fine-condition coin with smooth, even wear and minimal distracting marks stands out. Eye appeal remains king in numismatics. And then there's nostalgia. For many Americans, the bicentennial dollar was their first special coin. Children in 1976 received them as keepsakes. Grandparents saved rolls in hopes of future value. That emotional connection fuels ongoing demand. In the grand hierarchy of rare American coins, the 1776, 1976 D Eisenhower dollar in fine condition may not rank alongside early silver dollars or key date rarities. But rarity is not solely defined by mintage numbers. It is defined by context, survival quality, and collector passion. As time passes, more circulated examples will be lost, damaged, or melted for metal value should prices ever justify it. The surviving population in attractive fine condition will gradually shrink. And that is how sleeper coins become recognized collectibles. The 1776 to 1976 Eisenhower $1 coin with the Dmintmark embodies a unique intersection of patriotism, presidential tribute, and transitional American coinage history. It tells the story of a nation celebrating 2 centuries of independence while standing at the edge of economic and cultural change. Its bold size, dramatic drummer reverse, and dual date ensure it will never be mistaken for an ordinary dollar. So the next time you encounter one, perhaps in an old collection, a forgotten roll, or tucked inside a family keepsake box, take a closer look. Examine the strike. Study the lettering. Search for errors. Appreciate the honest wear of a coin that may have passed through countless hands during America's bicentennial celebration. Because sometimes the most fascinating treasures are not the ones locked away in vaults, but the ones hiding quietly in plain sight, waiting for someone who understands their story. And that is the enduring legacy of the 1776 to 1976 Eisenhower $1 coin struck at Denver. A bold symbol of 200 years of American independence, preserved in metal, and forever linked to one of the most patriotic celebrations in United States history.